Good morning and welcome to the Smite Mid-Season Invitational. We're on to day number 3 now, and this is the chance we get to see exactly what the SPL teams are going to be bringing here to the Mid-Season Invitational. We bring the best and brightest from each of the leagues that we run in Smite, and today we'll see just how well those SML teams can do here against the Pro League teams. It's going to be Armada and Simplicity moving on to take on some SPL opposition, and we'll start things off today with Armada up against the number 1 team in the SPL, which is Team Rival.
We saw the console, we saw the SML, now it's time to see what the SPL is all about. Team Rival coming in from the first phase at an 8-1 record, only losing to Team Dignitas, which is funny enough, the second seeded team out of the SPL going up against Simplicity.
And that Dignitas team that they beat, they lost that game in week 1.
Yes.
So since then, Rival have been undefeated and gone on to an 8-set winning streak.
Here now with Team Rival's very own support, Polar Bear Mike. So what's the team prep been like getting ready for dealing with this Armada squad?
We're pretty much just going to try to treat it as if it's another SPL match and try to not show too much, and obviously still treat them with respect. There are a lot of really good players that, you know, have a ton of experience in the SPL as well. Snoopy and Mask and Gino all played last year, so definitely not players to take lightly, but also understanding that we've had a lot more practice together than they have, so it should be an easy set.
PBM there. PBM, one of the players that really just is open about the situation. Honestly, he's normally bang on.
And the funny thing is, normally he's kind of like hinting at a little bit of troll during these interviews, but I didn't get any hint of that today. I think he's all business today.
You mentioned one troll. Let's move on to Armada. Well, let's find out how Armada feel going into today. We've got Matt standing by with Taco.
We've enjoyed MSI, but it is really unfortunate that we play against Rival, which is like probably the uncontested number 1 right now. I think they probably should have beaten Dig as well, so they were looking really rough to play against. So, but you know, we're ready, I guess.
You guys got anything spicy in the pocket plan for trying to pull at least one game out here, or what is the game plan here?
Yeah, I mean, we all queue ranks, so we always have something spicy, so I'm ready to pull it out. I think it will do pretty well.
And that was Mass there, the jungler for Armada. A tough ask, honestly, for Armada today, and I think Mass was being quite realistic about the state of play here. He seems to know that Rival are the big dog in this tournament this weekend. Oh, so this week, I should say. And I'm excited to see how exactly they match up here for Armada. It's a big task to take on. Armada, slight little grins on their face. They're really going to use all their time to work out if it's going to be low-key. We all kind of expected it to not be the case. It's going to be the Erlang Shen instead. Question from me, though, is, well, who's going in the mid lane here?
Yeah, so I'm expecting it to be... Oh, wow, I can't even tell you, honestly. This is a little odd because I don't think Meerkat is a Jormungandr player, but this could be the game where Meerkat is playing Jorm.
It's a good point. The Jormungandr mid has been run before. We've seen a little bit mainly from Zeros from the Pittsburgh Knights more than anybody else that's picked up that Jorm for the mid lane. But in this composition here, you can't really expect Surcat to be there. You don't really expect Erlang Shen mid. Sure, Erlang Shen mid could be there with the likes of the Chuck mids we've seen before in the past, but I just don't see it personally.
Then it's going to be a scrappy fight.
Well, let's get into that scrappy fight. The casters are standing by. It's John Finch and Aggro Bailey.
That's exactly right, Hindu man. Nice job as the one that sets the schedule. Let's move into game number 1. Rival against Armada, and it absolutely is Meerkat on the Erlang Shen mid. Can't believe they didn't see this coming on the desk up there. Come on, guys, put it together.
Yeah, okay. I'm a give you some insight on this one.
Please do.
Meerkat just has the ability to turn on the jets at times.
We all know that, yeah.
And we were talking, and we were like, yeah, maybe if they pick an immobile enemy mid laner, you can just run it down with Erlang.
But they didn't.
But they didn't is the big problem, and that's what I'm seeing. He goes double boots, blink, double
mana chalice,
double chalice. Yeah.
What is this?
He's running it down. That's what this is all about.
And
right
blink.
here.
So yeah, you're right. Let's go for it. Well, let's see if it ends up working for him in the middle lane. Not to quote Jason Bateman here, but we'll see if it works out. I predicted that it will not. Arkle already has some pressure in the dual lane. Snoopy on the Vulcan. This one, if you are familiar with Snoopy, you know is something he does a lot, but already in some trouble here early on, impaled into the wall. Arkle's put in some work. I like that, though, actually.
You're just literally standing
bad.
in the middle of the minions like, yeah, there's not a whole lot you can do about this. But Panda Cat seems a little bit too wise to it, sitting all the way underneath this tower.
But Mast is lurking behind. Blink right into the stun. Even with a quick beat, Panda Cat a sitting duck to the double blink between the mid jungle. But now a chance to punish. Polar Bear Mike rotates in for the stun, but Mast makes it out. So far, it's working out for Armada. First blood on the board.
Yeah, that's there's not a whole lot Panda can do when you get double blinked on level 2 by a full Acorn Rat and a Boots 2 Erlong Shen. And that's the idea, right? I mean, Armada, you hear me say it a lot. When you're playing up against a higher level of competition, a team that is almost certainly better than you, there's no reason to try and play their game because they're better than you at their game. May as well try and do something a little bit off kilter.
And now Gino coming in to add even further woes here for Panda Cat. With Portal available and near the wall, he repositions. This time the pressure doesn't quite find him, but I don't know that you necessarily even need a kill for this pressure in the mid lane to actually work. Force this Giannis to reposition, have him miss some farm. Maybe there's a chance they can put Panda Cat behind here early. Not bad for Mass to be looking for some pressure. I mean, I know things might not look maybe as traditional as you expect from this Erlong Shen as Mast gets another kill, but it's working for them in this early game so far. They have a ton of pressure.
Without a doubt, and another death on the Panda Cat because Mast blinked in. Now a red buff invade. It's looking good for Armada right now. Meerkat wants to keep it going even on a Captain Twig.
And Twig has already taken a ton of damage. Ring bounce hits too for the slow, but Twig able to get far enough away. Polar Bear Mike rotating in to see if he can strip away some of this farm. But Panda Cat here, there might actually be some kill potential. Mast now rooted, and there's the first one on the board for Team Rival. Meerkat bit off a little more than he could chew. I want to make sure we're giving Armada plenty of credit. Simplicity as well, too. We'll see them later on today. They had to fight a tough journey to make it through that play-in bracket. Tougher, I think, than even they expected. But we had a lot of strong teams down there, and these are our two winners. Now their reward, Rival and Dignitas, two of the top dogs throughout the SPL. And you got to bring something crazy like this if you want to make it work. No one else has really figured out the recipe for these two teams.
Seriously, Rival hasn't lost since week 1.
Since April or something?
Since they played. They're looking pretty good right now. So I think that throwing them a curveball is probably the right idea because they've been hitting dingers off the fastballs that all the SPL teams have been throwing at them basically all year.
This item is really good, and we see it rushed a lot, especially on supports. I don't know that we see it too often on the Yorm, but I think it makes some sense as Panda Cat's in trouble, force the beats again early. But it's Polar Bear Mike who might need some assistance, even with the ultimate E-falls. Though Captain Twig makes it 1-for-1, Mast can't quite make it to the tree.
Oh, Captain Twig missing the ultimate. Still not enough damage there for Meerkat with the abilities down for him to turn the fight, but there's a good opportunity to invade the red buff now.
It certainly is, and it's just Captain Twig here to try and slow things down. He gets caught by the last breath, and Snoopy gets the kill credit. Arkle tries to rotate it in too, and though he might be level 7, it's hard to fight 3. He's got to retreat yet again, and all of a sudden, Armada built themselves up a near 2K gold lead, though Arkle has something to say. Can't quite hit all those shots from the Desert Fury. But Gino does get caught by the root, and Polar Bear Mike brings in the walls. That's it for Cirquette.
Yeah, Arkill's like, okay, boys, let's snap back to reality here because we're still Team Rival, and we can still make some plays.
I'm
no,
right.
I thought I was big dumb.
And then you realize you're sick, and you kept it in, and you're like, fine.
Correct,
yeah,
yes.
That's my point.
TV, I'm going to take another spill in the mid lane because I have no rebuttal, so I'm going to talk about the game instead.
Right, I mean, it is still a draft that can function, so I don't think they'll go away entirely in the late game as Gino goes in aggressively looking for Twig. Up in the air is Mast as well, but a response by Captain Twig with his own ultimate gets him out of danger. Panda Cat follows up with the ult, but it's Snoopy who claims a life. Twig goes down.
Almost 500 gold every minute or so. It's 300 or so, so it's looking pretty solid from this point.
Ultimate use from Snoopy. Arkle is able to avoid it, and a sick turnaround impale, but Snoopy moves in for the backfire and survives the tower shot. Arkle did that about as well as he could. Just no way to survive. I do too, and you can tell that Arkle recognizes how much pressure he's on as Mast brings PBM down to half HP, not going the stacking route for the Hunter. Looks like he might be going into an early Aussie here to make up for the lack of lifesteal as PBM is in trouble. Mast was lurking above, but instead will switch targets towards Captain Twig, who's had to use his ultimate defensively just to get back to the tier 2. I mean, look where Rival have to hide. They're behind their tier 1, in between the tier 2, and Captain Twig in further trouble.
Now it's going to be Gino coming up and over the wall. Still can't quite find it, but he's got his ultimate. That should seal the deal for Captain Twig.
Goes back in with the last breath. Solar Troll wants to let that kill go down, and will. Panda Cat uses the ultimate. I think they're trying to avoid getting controlled as Meerkat grabs Arkle. So far, this early pressure has kind of put Rival out of sorts as Snoopy over the top catches PBM trying to back. Not in my house.
That was beautiful. Armada really turning on the Jets as a whole squad. It's not just Meerkat on the Erlong mid. That's a Gold Fury, and you were asking about pacing. I was going to say they're on the right pace, but they've got to start getting Gold Furies.
Yes.
They've got to start getting Pyromancers. That's perfect timing.
I mean, we all came into this one expecting Rival as heavy favorites.
Yeah.
No one's been able to take them out this year, and Armada has shown us a path to them at least grabbing this Game 1 victory. They got to keep moving towards it confidently.
It's not a clear path by any stretch, for sure. So you're right. It's not even close to done for Armada. I still feel like if I were a betting man, I'd probably be betting on Rival to still take this one. But the odds continue to go into Armada's favor with every fight they're winning. It allows another red buff invade. Final K not here for this one, so they're able to get it.
Captain Twig in some trouble. Solo Troll and Meerkat have him, but Panda Cat always there, provides him an escape route with the ultimate. Gino tries to make him pay with his own ult, but it's Arkle who's in trouble on the left-hand side. I think he was trying to defend purple, and now Captain Twig gets gobbled up by the World Worm, and Panda Cat in trouble too.
Man.
It's a waterfall effect.
Man, this is just insane. Here comes Final K, though, blinks in the mid lane looking for Meerkat.
Maybe he can try and chase him down. He does have the recall demons, but it's just not enough. Meerkat gets out of range, and now Final K with limited options needs to get back underneath the tower to get away from SOT and Mask.
Ultimate even used by PBM just in case, but that fight was over until
Snoopy.
Snoopy might decide maybe we want to keep it rolling.
He does move in, has the turret that allows her to pass the baton to Gino. Big ult hits
good.
both of them, and Polar Bear Mike will fall. Final K hit by the backfire, not enough to kill. But Armada had to be happy with that little engagement too. The coordination between them in this early game has been excellent.
It might be too late. He's still 3 levels down.
How about an Oni Fury aggro as Arkle recognizes just how much damage Snoopy has. Say hello to Ethereal Staff as well. Armada do indeed grab the Oni Fury, and they continue to catapult this lead. If y'all are out there in Mixer chat, maybe sleeping in, thinking this first set wouldn't be good, make some noise for Armada, having a pretty good first game here so far.
Everyone else on Rival is kind of treading water, right? I mean, they're down a level and a half. It's really only Arco that's really behind the 8 ball.
Mast has gone up to look for Twig, but a good timed
Nice blink.
ultimate lets him reposition, and a blink on the back end, as you said, to get him out of danger, but the red buff can do no such maneuvering. It ends up getting stolen by Armada yet again, and the tier 1 tower is broken down. Bit by bit, they're whittling away at this otherwise stalwart team Rival. So far, Armada has been able to make every bit of this work and can still do a lot of the same work in terms of forcing Rival up to at least see what they're up to.
Twig's in trouble here. Got to use the beads, and he's
Goodness.
still insta-dead, man. That damage from Snoopy's meatball, just a little bit too strong. But it's, again, Gino finds a great initiation. He's been doing that all week so far, and it's continued here today.
And Rival, as I said, do have to at least step up some to see what's going on, but this feels like maybe too much that they've stepped forward. Final K, the early target, he's brought down to half. Mast looks from the back line, and it's enough for Meerkat to take him down with the pin. Polar Bear Mike, the next one on the conveyor belt of doom, established by Armada. A double kill for Meerkat, having a better day here so far on day 3. Enjoying his time here on the Erlong Shen.
Yeah, I think this is a Fire Giant call from Armada, rather, and it definitely should be. It's really just the fact that Panda Cat and Arkle are so far behind at this point that they never feel like they can get involved in that fight. That just a little bit of fear there, and honestly, it's kind of well warranted. They're so far behind.
Every single time, they'd rather just be farming as Fire Giant down to half HP. Arkle has been pulled in, can't even get the kill on Gino. Mast claims his life. Captain Twig, at the very least, does get Gino, and now he's here in range as the Fire Giant's low, but they've halted DPS, taken up into the air, and Panda Cat is at least able to find one, but Mast gets the return kill, and FG goes to Armada. I know they lost 2, but I still think that was about as clean as they could have done.
Still getting Fire Giant on 3 of your members, keeping it off the board for Rival if they potentially try and make a comeback, and just continuing to make it that much easier for you to get some farm.
Polar Bear Mike gets chunked by the level 20 Snoopy, a 7-level gap between those two in that interaction. I thought the portal was for PBM, but clearly it wasn't. Panda Cat took the safety route. Polar Bear Mike left to the Wolves. Final K does want to try and punish Mask for stepping too far forward. A last demon gets to him. That's a big shutdown bonus for Final K.
It really is, man. Mask has been a nightmare for Rival so far. That's a huge cooldown that Gino doesn't have any control over. 90 seconds before he'll get that Mini Gebel.
They're ready to all-in commit, though. Meerkat goes in, as does Mash with his own ultimate. Panda Cat is the target. Through space and time, bought him a moment, but Frenzy popped in the left Phoenix, and Gino moves in right away. Snoopy's ultimate does not quite hit home, but Jormungandr wants to remove Arkle from the equation. It's Gino's last breath that gets it done. Meerkat finds Fine OK as well. Captain Twig in trouble as Meerkat gets the double, and this might be it here, aggro. Armada 5v2, take down the left side Phoenix, and are looking to move into the Titan room.
They're a little bit weak, Finch, but they've got a part of an Oni wave with them in between a Giannis and a Terra. I just don't think they have the damage.
Gino moves in first, keeps Panda Cat confined to the actual fountain. Gino gets stunned, takes some extra Titan damage, and they still haven't put much DPS onto the actual end game objective. It's now been brought down to half HP, but Panda Cat removed from the equation in the math gets that much easier. Armada in game number 1 take down Rival, and they have a chance here now to move on.
1 down, 1 to go for the Armada boys. Sometimes the old ranked strat of just turning on the Jets and running it down works out for you, man. Just an improbable win for the Armada boys, but the problem is they've still got 1 more to go.
And in the back of my mind, the whole time, aggro, I was thinking, no way that works twice.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So now what do you do in game number 2? Do you have a second Erlong Shin middle Vulcan ADC type strat to pull out? We'll see, though, if there's any ideas from the guys on the desk. Hindu and Toli can break it down.
We got to discuss that. How did they do that? Armada won the game against Rival, who are the #1 team in the SPL, undefeated for how many weeks in a row now? 8 sets in a row,
Yes.
best of 5. And Armada just come in and destroy them.
This is a team that won 8 in a row, and in order to do so, you have to have great communication, great synergy, and in order to disrupt that synergy, you have to do what Armada did with the double blink play, first blood onto Panda Cat. You got them on edge after that point. I was walking back, actually, didn't even see the first blood, but I could hear somebody screaming, no, like as Panda Cat died.
Well, if you're just tuning in, no, there is not a technical difficulty with the graphics on your screen. Armada are up 1-0 over Rival in this best of 3 quarterfinal.
You just never really know with Armada.
Well, let's find out. There's Rival on your screen. Can they take game 2 and get us to a game 3? The casters are standing by.
Well, I think Rivals certainly have a good chance here, Hindu. What a first 3 picks for the boys. Merlin into Kronos into King Arthur. Not just really strong gods, but gods every one of these players are all very, very comfortable on.
Can we get a shout out, by the way, to Layers, who rocked Armada so hard that Mask is like, yeah, maybe I should try Guan Jungle. Because that's 100% what happened.
I'd be worried normally picking a Guardian into Fine OK's King Arthur, but so far it's working for them as Mast has to get up onto the horse. Polar Mike's the target. He's been caught in the middle of the dash. No way he makes it out of here now. First blood for Armada. It took a little bit longer, but they're here yet again in game number 2.
At least Rival got the red buff this time. Can we actually see what Mask is leveling on this Guan Yu? I believe Layers leveled to 2, and that's exactly what Mask is doing as well. And I like this a lot, actually, for Guan Yu jungle. Your fight is all centered around your ultimate anyways. Don't really even worry about your 3 that much. It's a lower cooldown on the 2. You get to get it for burst.
Beads comes out from Mask, get away from the ultimate from King Arthur. Solo Patrol responds with the taunt, but Fine OK. Happy to keep this fight going, but Captain Twig deleted. I promise he was there a moment ago, and now Mask ready to reinitiate Defender Olympus there, and Fine OK low on options. A double kill for the Guan Yu Armada, bringing it to the top team in the SPL.
Yo, Guan jungle kind of sick. That did so much damage, and clearly Twig wasn't ready for the max dash either.
It just happens instantaneously, and you take all this extra damage, and Twig was removed.
And dodging from behind man feels so tough because
Kirk too.
now it just doesn't do a lot. She's all scaling and just doesn't have that much.
Arkle taking a lot of damage. Snoopy might be willing to commit for this underneath the tier 1 tower. Snoopy will be traded out thanks to it, but he gets the kill onto Arkle. Clearly some presence being felt there, but this is much needed. If Fine OK can find this kill, maybe he can be a bit of their lifeline.
It was such a good moment, I think, for Armada.
Polar Mike looks aggressive onto Meerkat. Supernova dropped at his feet, but the damage coming up from Panda Cat is immense. Can't quite catch up to him, though. He gets out, and Gino does some great peel with the ultimate to keep Captain Twig away. It will cost him his life, though, but critically keeps Meerkat alive. Well, you are going to need a little bit more help soon, because Zeus is getting changed, right? You know, the detonate, going to have a little bit of a delay. I'll have a chance to counterplay you now. It'll be nice.
You already had a chance. You're just bad.
Who was it that was tweeting out that if you kind of wait initially, then it does get more stacked in your favor? That's true, but you know,
it's
do you
defender's
gamble on
advantage.
waiting initially? I don't know. Mass, though, wants some pressure. That does force Twig up into the air and onto the Palau. He will land the pull in the mask, and Arco's damage is nothing to scoff at, and Captain Twig lands the last auto. That's a big kill for Twig to take down Mask.
It's a bad ultimate from Mask there. Got to be ready for that ultimate from Captain Twig. Snoopy trying to get something rolling, and that shell just enough. Still looking for a skewer that could kill Twig.
If Captain Twig can make it out of here, though, this turns into a good fight for Rival all of a sudden. Arkle just barely can't find that last hit on a Snoopy. That was some nice juke boots from my man over in the ADC role. Allows him to survive. But all of a sudden, the kills aggro are 4 for 4. The gold's only about 600. The experience disparity in the solo lane has evaporated. Team Rival have stabilized this game up against Armada. Gold Fury on the menu now for Armada. And Rival not really in position to try and defend this. It's now down to half HP. Arkle walks too far forward, gives up his life. That does stop DPS on the Gold Fury, and Panda Cat makes it 1 for 1 by cleaning up Gino, but he's stuck in the Supernova. Way too hot for Panda Cat. He gets burned, and it's 2 for 1 for Armada.
Twig gonna take the high road, but Solar Troll getting pretty low, but he tricked her spirits the wrong way, and Solar Troll still standing until FinoK has to get involved.
So it's 3 for 2, and FinoK, that's exactly the kind of fight he wants. Right in the middle of everything on this King Arthur, but can't sustain enough. Stoopy on the set gets the kill, and now it's just Polar Bear Mike left. He's not enough. Deicide for Armada. Just when Rival clawed their way back in, Armada rip it back. Still level 11, only a little bit behind Gino, but he's gonna need that second relic soon as Twig is forced into the ult again.
Now, Mass doesn't have beads here, but he is going to use the ultimate. I really thought he might just decide to hold it and leave it alone, but he's going to look for the kill on Twig.
It allows him to reposition. Great peel from Polar Bear Mike. He's just had a monster year, by the way, and it's because he does stuff like that on a regular basis.
That was beautiful. Snoopy's got Kingslayer active. Good damage coming from Skewer. It looks like Arkle had to use that rewind. Arkle's in trouble.
Good using the Aegis. That bought him time to get to the stun, but Snoopy still had his Aegis. That's the 1v1. Arkle goes down and opens up Pyromancer on the other side of the map. Armada just looking good.
FinoK gets poked to half by damage from Solar Troll, and here comes Mask. FinoK has to use that ultimate defensively. I think he's dead.
He's certainly in trouble. Defender of Olympus adds a ton of extra damage. It is still King Arthur over here, though. Keep that in mind as he sustains up a ton. It just is not enough. Solar Troll puts him down, and one more kill on the FinoK.
Oh, Twig gets out of danger because Gino misses the ultimate, though. The rest of the boys coming in. Gino is dead to rights.
That's good damage from Panda Cat, but Captain Twig's gonna need some options to disengage. The Palau is enough, and he falls back. Rival still within striking distance, but I think it's impressive that Armada are out in front here at all. 4K gold, sense memory built up almost, right where you know what to do in any given situation. And that is brutal. Polar Bear Mike missing all of it. And now time for the reinitiation. Defender of Olympus gets this fight started off well. Boulder already committed from PBM. Solar Troll brought low, but Twig up onto the Palau looks to force some beats.
Go slow low though, and look at Panda Cat in the back line getting under siege by Mask. Mask gonna try and cut him down off the horse. Huge taunt from Solar Troll, and Panda Cat's dead.
That's 2 kills already, a double kill for SOT, and FinoK's got to run. Same for Polar Bear Mike, but all the damage is already gone. If I'm Armada, what are you scared of? Taunt Polar Bear Mike right back in, and that's a ton of damage coming from the rest of the squad. Tier 1 tower, all theirs. Why not go for a Fury, maybe even an FG off the back of that? 4 for 0.
They might win this set, Finch.
Yeah, holy, huh?
They might actually mess around and beat the top seed in the SPL. Unbelievable fight there for Armada. How about the set that Solar Troll has had?
Yes.
I mean, he looked unstoppable on the Jormungandr, and then this Athena solo is top damage and a huge part of everything that's going well for Armada.
Yeah, he's been all over the map right now. I've been so impressed with the way that Armada have played. We've already sung Gino's praises as Captain Twig falls, desperately searching for farm, but I mean, he's looked phenomenal all week and within this set as well too. Armada now are starting to look like legit contenders, and production made sure to remind me, I don't know if y'all are familiar, but in Paladins, this same thing happened, man. An SML team came in and won the whole damn tournament. Gino takes quite a bit of damage there from Panda Cat until he's Najan, heals it up. FinoK taunted in to get things going, and he's brought down to half HP. Little committed from Armada, and already the poke is there. Twig goes down to half HP, but he's on the Palau, and will be able to pull in at the very least Gino, but the Najal shrugs it off. and Armada can continue to siege around these Guan Yu heals. Solar Troll goes right back in, 2-man taunt, and now it's Arkle in trouble, gets the rewind off. And Armada popped the Frenzy, but the Phoenix still very healthy at this point.
Not the mid Phoenix though. Snoopy just got it all by himself, so now he's gonna be able to join the fight.
They're gonna need him over here on the right-hand side though. Meerkat quite low in the back. Captain Twig is the one that grabs him. Gino in the front line brought to half HP. But as you said, they might be already ready to leave as a 4-man taunt from SOT sets up for Snoopy to find Twig way alone in the back.
Yeah, but Gino overcommits on that taunt. He's gonna get picked off. Now it's a 3-on-4, but Arkle no beads. Mask still here. Fine, okay, may have just gotten caught.
Maybe so, but he's the one you'd want to run into 3 members if it had to be someone. Now they have a chance for turnaround on a Solar Troll. The Athena gets shut down. Mask was trying to keep this fight going as Snoopy burns through Panda Cat. Mask gets Arkle as well. Snoopy now unstoppable. They trust in the damage here from this set. Fine, okay, still standing,
sick.
but Polar Bear Mike controls the fight, and that might have just saved things here.
That may have saved the game right there. I think they may have been able to end if they kill Fine okay from that position, or at least they break the base. Probably not end. Twig's coming up, but they get right side Phoenix there 100%. Sick pull by PBM to keep the game really even close.
As Armada want to give it one more go on the right side. Phoenix, team rival, your #1 seed coming into this tournament on the ropes. Arkle in trouble, forced into the rewind early. Mast goes for Panda Cat early. He's been forced at as well. That means the pressure all on the front line now for Rival to try and keep this Phoenix standing. Fine OK has Gino locked down under Phoenix. It's just not enough, and Twig melts away in the back line. Solar Troll hunts down Panda Cat too. It's 2 for 1.
Snoopy, or Meerkat rather, dies, and that's the majority of the Phoenix damage. Great focus there from Captain Twig to get him.
Arkle now in some trouble as well. Aegis has already been used, but Polar Bear Mike continues to peel like a goddamn banana, trying to keep things going for the squad. Right side Phoenix still standing, but as soon as they turn attention to it, it melts like hot butter. Polar Bear Mike trying to keep them away, but it's just too much from Armada.
Oh, here comes Snoopy. They're looking for Arkle. He's dead. Now it's just the front line left for Rival.
Fine, okay. Is trying to keep this going. The right side Phoenix now down as well. Mid Phoenix will respawn, but it will shred. Fine, okay ends up falling. Polar Bear Mike, the only one standing. Armada, your SML representative, now moving to the Titan room. Polar Bear Mike has it all to do to try and keep this game alive, but Hercules just can't get it done. This Titan's starting to buckle now under the pressure from Armada. Well below half, well below 20, and that's Mass popping off. Armada take the set.
Unbelievable, man. The top seed out of the SPL gets swept by Armada for the fleet, baby. Meerkat and the boys take it 2-0.
Say goodbye to Rival, man. That's it. We're done with them, man. They're out of the tournament. Your top seed hasn't lost since week 2 of the SPL. No one's been able to figure them out. Not the Knights, not United, not Renegades. No one has been able to answer this Rival team except for Armada. And I think you have to give them a ton of credit on this one, man. I mean, the way that they played here, it was legitimate. It was heads up, and they just came out the better team.
Yeah, look, game 1, sure, they run it down, they do the rank strat, but if you're the best team in the world, which Rival arguably was coming into this, you should be able to beat that. So I don't care about that argument. The best of 3 thing is going to come up 100%. Oh, if it was best of 5, I don't care. You're the best team in the world right now. You're the favorites coming in. Beat the minor leaguers. I don't want to hear it.
And you didn't even get to 3, by the way. I mean, right? I mean, you win one of them, right? And maybe lose in that third one. There's something you can say. There's no asterisk for me on this win whatsoever. This is just a win for Armada, man.
100%.
And 100% I'm giving credit to those guys. Let's get it back over to Hindu and see if he can top what he did for us last time.
Well, I'll speak words this time. Let's just say it that way. Armada, full credit. They deserve the victory here today. They put on a great show. The minor league team, the #1 North American minor league team, defeating the #1 team coming out of the SPL here so far today in a 2-0 victory. If you're just tuning in, you've missed a hell of a lot of action already. Fans at home as well, I think a lot of people will be looking at that going, well, I guess Rival didn't respect their opposition enough here today. Whether they put enough prep in or not, I think the credit really needs to go towards Armada from my point of view.
Absolutely.
Because that was a really good performance from them. And I think even coming into that set, I don't think they had high hopes themselves of a great situation here against the #1 team out of the SPL. But here we are now with a 2-0 victory for Armada. We've got an interview standing by with Snoopy and Masked.
I know there's probably a lot that you guys want to say here, so I feel like I got to just be open. What does it mean for you guys to be able to win this set where very few people, I think, had you all even having a chance going into this one? Just talk to you about how you guys are feeling right now in this moment.
Well, like you said, the very few people had us winning, maybe including ourselves, but we really kind of just threw all our strats out the window, and we kind of just played our own game, and it somehow worked out.
Yeah, has there ever been a more convincing argument for ranked being great practice for the top level play? I mean, game one, that's every Masters ranked game. I mean, you guys felt at home, I'm guessing.
Yeah, well, we have Meerkat, so I don't know if you know that. Also, like, all of us are like on Smurfs on at all points, so we are just just ranking it up, and thankfully, I guess it like translated really well because they've never played a team that just goes W key at them. So yeah, thankfully it worked.